Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Lab's broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial. We're out on London Greater Flat course, excuse me, and I believe we're Greater Flat. Am I right there? I think I'm right there. We were looking at the course profile right beforehand. I got Dave Towle next to me. We've got 2 laps, and we're out on London, and this is number 54 of the Team Time Trial. And there are, I believe, 500 teams throughout the day, from what I was told. These guys are putting on the largest team event out on Zwift by far at this point, and super exciting. We're going to be covering all the zones out there today. Last week we heard your feedback and people were like, hey, now we are jumping into the Premier League. The Premier League is all about featuring the top 10 fastest teams from each zone from last week. Okay, and that's how you get into this Premier League that starts at 12:15 CST Central Standard Time. So pretty cool, Dave, that we got this opportunity to broadcast this.
Yeah, Nathan, 3,500 racers from around the globe will be out as part of this format. Thanks again to the World Tactical Race League. Those guys are absolutely amazing, Nathan. The service that they provide here out of the goodwill of their hearts is amazing. I think this has really sparked a whole new interest in the art and the discipline of team time trialing. So brace yourselves, buckle up. Nathan, I had some data just come over 600 teams now have been scripted today. That is bananas. So everybody, welcome. I hope you have the ride that you came here for. Nathan, I remember back when I raced, Team Time Trial was maybe, if you were the weak link on your team, this was the most terrifying event to line up for without any doubt. So for the stronger riders, it definitely is. It's an act of real strength, right, is a velvet hammer. You have to know how to get the most out of the other riders on the team without breaking their will. It's going to be a blast out there today, Nathan. I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, definitely going to be great. And this course really, really great for time trialing for sure as well. It's going to be about pure speed. Let's just jump out in with Team Cryogen. It looks like Ospreys, they have jumped out on a course, and we'll get information up on what is going on with each one of the riders that are out here as we go, each one of the teams that are out here as we go along. And we want to give you a quick little look, though, at the course profile for today. So here is what's going to be happening with the racers on the day. So let's see if we can.
This is a new feature for us.
New feature, yep.
Create this. Yeah, so I'm going to let you talk us through the. This is the London course that we're on. 2 laps.
We're out on 2 laps of this Greater London Flat, and they're going to be heading on out next to the river. As you can see here, a little bit of an uphill climb into checkpoint number 1. So the first checkpoint we'll be watching out for is that first 6-kilometer mark out there at the sprint banner, heading on over toward the onto the classic course there. After they do leave the classic course, go past the castle, they're going to be heading back around the river here. This is when they actually hit the expansion point that was a part of the Greater London Flat course, and they're hitting checkpoint number 2 before they go underneath that underpass that does have the only real climb that is a part of that Greater London Flat course, barring the climb out of the river early on that the Cryogen team is about to hit, actually. And then checkpoint number 3 is going to be once they do go through the classic course start-finish banner one more time, and at that same point, as they pass by the turnoff that would take them out to the hills there, as you can see on the left-hand side, by checkpoint number 3. And then they'll be heading on over toward the finish line to finish up their total for the day. So that's the checkpoints. That's your course profile on the day. Big thanks to WTRL putting this together. Pretty cool new feature that we've got out here for the races. So I am seeing we do have a couple more starting out on course here as well. I did just see that Dan Fleeman along with his team, I believe, is out there with DDC. I think he's guest riding for them out there today as well. So we'll be jumping in with the Espressos in just a moment, but we definitely want to feature every single category out on course. And this is going to be Cryogen here right now, hammering away. First ones to go out on course as a part of this B category. And starting in the Bs, I'm going to actually need, so just so you guys know, I'm still getting familiar. The way the organization around all this is absolutely amazing. Now, some of you who may be new will be wondering, how does this work, and why are people, how are they starting? Because I'm seeing the time gaps that I usually see between the riders on the right-hand side. This is confusing to you, perhaps, right? That, like, wait, A's are A's, B's are B's, C's are C's. No. They have their own categories. I'm going to go ahead and bring up those categories for you on the screen here right now, because these are the splits for the records on the day. So these are, well, the records all time, depending on whether or not this course has been done before. ATP Racing 3 for the Viennas, which are the women on the day, had a 42:20. That's the current reigning time that the Vienna group is going to be looking to beat. Espresso, then, which is going to be your A's, those are going to be ATP Racing 1, currently has a 36:30. Frappe is with an ATP Racing 1 as well with a 38:30. And then Race 3R, New Kids on the Block, loving it, Latte, which would be your C category usually. That is going to be your with a 40:56. And then your Mochas, which would be your D categories, a 44:20. Now, they do start in different pens, though, in order to make it all work smoothly with nobody really running into each other too much out on course. So B category we're looking at right now is the Mochas. This is going to be the D category, or your slowest riders on the day, or least watts per kilogram on the day. So they head out first with Team Cryogen. We'll be looking to feature the rest of the teams as we go on through the day here. But most of the categories have gotten out on course, I believe. The only ones I do see hanging around still, it looks like maybe the Frappes. Some of the Frappes are still hanging out in the D pens right now. So let's go ahead and see if we can jump in with a couple of the other categories here in just a moment. I do believe we do have DDC here on one of our other feeds, and we'll jump into them in just a second here.
All right, yeah, so a lot to manage as we take a look here at this is going to be the team that has Fleeman in it, the Cryogen squad, a team to watch, no doubt. There have been a lot of changes. Really do want to give a nod to Martin and Steve at the WTRL headquarters there. They do a tremendous job adding new features all of the time. I mean, every time you turn around, left, right, and center, there's something new going on with the WTRL League. So Premier League, Nathan, is something we've added. But as you talk about it, Vienna, that women's category record on this course, 42:40. So we'll be watching closely to see what's happening out there. We've had some real heavy hitters showing up with our women's teams, the Espresso, the Frappe, the Latte, and the Mocha. That's how we break down all of these different categories. Again, with 3,500 races. Imagine in real life if you were to assemble this number of teams and the management of the process of everyone out and racing. This is going to be, well, we've picked up the Dig Deep coaching team here with El Towers, the rider. So
my mistake on the day. My mistake on the day too. There actually looks like Fleeman. Oh no, Fleeman is out there with DDC. My mistake. So he is my mistake. Second time there. So Fleeman has showed up. Stephen Gallagher, McCann, Towers, and Looks Rafferty there as well with the DDC team. So be watching out for them for sure. I did get a message from Gallagher earlier that Fleeman was going to be guest riding for them on Dig Deep coaching today. So strong team. They've had some solid results in the top 10s over and over again, obviously being a part of this league right now.
So racing in time zones all around the world, Nathan. I believe it's 8 different opportunities that you have to get out and race on this course. So we could see, if you set a new course record out here today in this wave, it could be broken later in the day. I think there's one more opportunity for riders to get out on course. I might be wrong there, but either way, we're in the mix right now with Fleeman here, former World Tour pro, a guy who I would have to say an early adapter of Zwift, and he brought a lot of credibility with him, that's for sure, as that appropriately named DDC, Dig Deep coaching team. They are rolling right now, Nathan. You can see they're at 32 miles per hour. So this is quite even faster than that. They're only about 4 miles in here, but this is a blistering pace that we're looking at. We're going to have them. So I don't know. Is there any way we can change that to kilometers? Our first time check should be coming up at 6K. So that's right about now, I would say.
That's the only feed. Apologies. There's going to be 2 feeds out there.
Okay.
Just
It's
so
a
everybody
little
knows,
weird
it is a little weird. It is a little weird. I'll show you guys real quickly here, and I'll tell you exactly what's going on in the background.
It's okay. What can you do? If it is what it is, that's fine.
It is what it is, and we do have 2 feeds. Here's the other one that will be in miles, and just as an apology to everybody there, that is the
it's
one
just worth
thing.
noting for everybody that sometimes you're going to see kilometers and sometimes
Yeah,
you'll see miles
so that is the
there.
one thing that did not get updated there. So I do apologize on that, everybody. What it comes down to is 2 of the logins did not get changed on that, and the reason being is,
We'll cut you some
is that
slack,
those
Nathan.
well, I want to give there's a great explanation that I really like, actually, so I'm going to give it.
Okay.
so those 2 logins are personal accounts for Americans, which is myself and Miss Ashley Phipps, who both like riding in miles because that is the way that we should ride bikes. No, I'm just kidding, everybody. So anyways, that's the reason why those are set up in miles, and so we're just going to need to change up the way that we ride so that I don't have to keep changing them back and forth. And Nathan's, I guess, going to have to get on board with the rest of the world and start riding in kilometers so I don't have to keep on swapping them.
Hey, I hear you. Old money, they call it. So, Nathan, I think that we are going to start seeing our first checks coming in for the fastest teams out there here on the Greater London Flat. Again, 2 circuits out here today. It's really cool seeing that map that we're looking at, or that you showed us earlier, that shows you the version, as there's so many routes that you can take in any of the different Zwift worlds out here. But let's see, we're picking up the Towle training team now. Not ideal situation right now, and you're going to see that there is definitely there's a craft to team time trialing. It's one of these things. It's like comparing the bass guitar to the regular guitar, Nathan. Bass guitar is simple when you look at it, but very, very hard to master. And I think team time trialing is the same thing. It sounds very simple. How quickly can you get? Now, these teams typically, and I think rules have stayed the same. Teams should be 5 to 8 riders with the time taken off of the 4th rider's front wheel. I believe that format is still in play here, but obviously keeping everybody together, working as a unit, keeping it smooth. As they say, smooth is fast. And I guess Zwift says fast is fun. And all of these things apply. So
looking through here, so for this, this is going to be in this A category, which is your lattes. You can see that the fastest time in the day is going to be the 3R new kids on the block, actually. So this is Towle training. They're going to be a part of that. That's what they're going to be chasing down on the day here with that 8:04, 8:05 on here. So in this latte right here is going to be chasing that down. So we're going to take a look here. We starting to get some splits coming in as the riders are going through each one of them in just a moment here. So this is going to be our splits here. Let's go ahead and make those a little bit bigger. And as they do come in, we'll be watching for each one of these sections. So this is the Viennas earlier. We are seeing they're starting, if they've started on a course, it is green. It is green, as you can see here. The Espressos, this is their current situation where they're at out on course. We don't have any splits just as of yet, but you can see where they are at. Their last checkpoint, Innovation, are at 20.1 as a part of the Espresso group. You can see in here 20.5 there for WKG Vomit. For that frappe latte there, 24.5 left to go, excuse me. And then it's going to be, we also do have the mochas here out on that are jumping out on course as well with the 24.4 left to go. So that's the current situation. No, none of the times coming in just as of yet, but as soon as we start getting them, we'll start populating those for you guys. But it does look like Towle here have dropped one of their riders. Too much for them, it looks like, as Calvo, Gil, and D start to walk away. D now unable to hang on. So 3 riders here dropping them off.
Yeah, my analysis here would be at some point then the 3 riders must just look at this as a training race, because you shouldn't be getting a time off of your 3rd rider, right? So theoretically, if this were life or death and your team had to get the great best time, you should be waiting for that rider and try to encourage them. But I understand as well, if someone just doesn't have it, or maybe a dropout there, something could go on like that where you're like, well, at that point, I wouldn't wait either. So, understandably, here, 3 riders soldiering on, but you're going to see some of the big squads. Now, that's what it should look like here as we pick up the innovation team. Okay, this double pace line, Nathan, that we're looking at, so subtle of how you make this happen out there. These guys are nailing it. Great job. As we're with Loke right now, the innovation rider. Nathan, I really like the way these guys are rolling. You can see that average speed up, well, not average speed, the current speed at 31 miles per hour. Okay, these guys are obviously on the bottle here. Nice job. This is going to be, again, we have all of the different categories out here. Nathan's going to be jumping around from Vienna, espresso, frappe, latte, and mocha. The Vienna, the women. Espresso, you would say that's your Premier League, the very top riders. Their fastest time ever on this course that we've recorded, Nathan, is a 36:30. And one of the really great things about racing on Zwift is the consistency of the there is no wind. There's no factors here that would change validating that effort. So if you could beat 36:30, you beat 36:30 out here. This team rolling. This is a nice 7-rider squad. That's a nice number of riders. That's about when you talk about a team time trial effort, your stronger riders are going to spend a little more time or a lot more time up on the front. The riders that are making up the team, the engine room, they're going to try to hold on when they're feeling good. Maybe they can go up there and hit the front for 15, 20, 30 seconds even, but the strong riders will try to take these 45 to 1 minute long pulls up there. And that's how you do it. That's the name of the game.
And we do have a feed here coming in from Vienna. Now, this is going to be the front of the Viennas here. We do have the in real life Celtic Queens. We did see some awesome posts actually coming in from this team after they got the shout outs last week. And it's great to see them hammering away again out on course here. We'll be following along with them for just a minute as they're going to be our lead riders, it looks like, or at least the first ones to start on the day. They're being chased down, it looks like, by M. Greaves Ireland CTD just behind. So a couple of in the Vienna group here. Definitely a couple of Irish teams that are hammering
look at
away.
all those
Very
beautiful
good to see.
Irish flags. Yeah. My favorite flag of all right there, Nathan. This is a great team as well, the Celtic Queens. We saw them have a heck of a ride. Let's see if they can find the top step of the podium here. 42K per hour here. Nice momentum.
Yeah, and the time they're going to be looking to beat on the day. So on the day for the Vienna squad, Stefanelli Black Widow with a 42.30. HDR Purple Armada this morning had a 42.57. We're looking at Liv B Cycling there with the 45.29. So those are the top 3 currently in the Vienna. Now, those are not the course records. That is Team Time Trial number 54 on the day. So that's throughout the entire day, everyone. Team Time Trials run all day long, okay? And so with 3,000 people, I think you said it was. Is that right? 3,000 people across all the
3,500.
3,500 across all of these. These are the top times currently standing right now amongst the Viennas after one zone running. We are currently
that Vienna time is a new record. I started the day with 42:40 is the record. We can check that. Go back. Actually, why don't we get Martin
here,
on
Vienna's
that?
Here. So yeah, 42:20 with ATP Racing 3 all-time record on this course.
42:20. There you go.
42:20 all-time record. So ATP Racing 3. I'm not sure what the date was on that, but that's a solid 10 seconds over the best time of the day. I think that will be beat because I think that the reality of 10 seconds between this morning and then the Premier League, I think that'll be taken out somewhere within this Vienna crowd here right now that we're looking at.
Yeah, so the other flag we identified, the Irish team has one Northern Irish rider in this group as well. the 26 and the 32 counties that make up such an interesting history there. I'm so proud to see Ireland as a nation that has always punched above its weight in so many of the arts and sports and entertainment, whether it was the boxer Barry McGuigan back in the 80s, or, the Irish have always just represented such a country, an island nation of just a little over 4 million people, Nathan. And at one time, going back to the late 80s, there were two riders. Really, you can add Paul Kimmage and Martin Early into the mix, but Sean Kelly and Stephen Roach made up a good. They won just about everything there was to win for a couple of years, including that Stephen Roach run where he was the world champion, Tour de France, and Giro d'Italia winner in the same year. So they're Irish, small but mighty, that's for sure. Celtic Queens rolling strong here. They've already completed 12K. But what's important here, Nathan, is watch the consistency of every rider is doing their part here. No one is a passenger on this train. Everybody is a locomotive, and I love that. Keep it going, ladies.
Yeah, we are seeing for the time splits currently for them. It looks like Ireland, Celtic Queens here, 9:15, tied neck and neck at that 6 kilometer mark with the Viking team there,
Wow.
the Valkyries. Yeah, so 9:15. But then with ATP Racing 3, who are currently holding the current course record we're seeing, I believe here, 8:49. So going better than these lead riders here that we're looking at right now. So we're going to definitely have to take a look back and see how things are happening with ATP Racing 3 as well as the Viking Valkyrie team. Choppers are there at 8:48. Looks like there's a serious battle going on actually between the Choppers and this ATP Racing 3. So we'll see if we can find them out on course here. ATP, I think this is going to be the crew that we're talking about right here. ATP Racing 3. Yep, this is it right here. And M. King, Thompson, Stella, all making that chase. This is the fast time setters. With the Choppers, though, 1 second better, as you can see here. Edwards now with this Choppers team chasing things down. They've showed up with quite the crew here. Bartlett, I think Lucy Charles, Eileen might be in here as well. I mean, they are 1 second better than that ATP Racing. We've got a race on our hands here in the Viennas.
Sure
that
do.
is for sure.
Well, Nathan, I would say the Choppers have been the gold standard up till now, but that is now in play. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch one bike race all year, this might be it. The Vienna category for the women here. This is going to be an epic thread. Now, Nathan, in your experience, I do see Lucy Charles is in the Choppers team. She has been on the podium with a silver medal at the last 3 triathlon world championships. Just go ahead and note that, right? I mean, talk about I've used the word consistent a lot today, and that's an incredible consistency. A sport where it's very, very hard to stay on top. So that's going to be the Choppers team with Lucy Charles Barclay that we're talking about now. So that team then, Nathan, ATP Racing 3, they're deadlocked at that first check at 6K. I wanted to quickly, Nathan, get your opinion on something, because last week I was talking about Central Park, and I think for those of us that haven't spent a lot of time in New York City, you imagine Central Park as being pretty flat, right? Well, you've ridden on it a ton in the virtual world. This course is flatter, should be better for a I'm not going to use that word again, for an effort from a team. The hills that even though they're not massive climbs, they're not Coles or Bergs in Central Park. It's more than just rolling, I would say. Here, much flatter today. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, much flatter. Greater London flat here. I mean, the reality here is this is all about speed. You can see him flying along 46 kilometers per hour right now, 14 minutes in, and hammering away at 4.7. It's going to be much more of a consistent effort, I think, here, which may favor the pure time trialist, the pure this tri group. I mean, this is a essentially an elite group of team time trialists that are all world-class triathletes, so jumping in here with them and having that just big engine, not so much about the kicks. And so this course, because it's just about the diesels, I think that there's a big favorite here to anybody who's with a triathlon background, much less being at that level at the World Championships. So lots of world-level athletes here amongst this group, and I think they are definitely a favorite out here today compared to the record setters. They're the ATP Racing 3. They're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, you don't really need to think a whole lot, right? That's the big difference. No brain, no pain for these elite.
What are you saying about them? What is Dave saying right now about these? Nice one, Dave. Loving it.
But Nathan, as we look again, thank you so much, Nathan, for spending time here with this Vienna group, because this is going to be interesting. One thing we learned last week is these races are still won or lost in the last 2K. And I think that's really going to hold. I mean, this is going to come down to, I even think, a little bit of tactics with, do you put a couple riders on the front in 5K to go and have them just turn into a booster rocket and ride for 1 minute as hard as they can, keeping the group obviously together, but as hard as they can, and then just peeling off? I mean, in a true team effort, the PO Auto boys, who we'll be looking at a little later, they've got world tour rider Magnus Cort on that squad. Now, a team that was really all in for winning, like in the team pursuit, you will lose a rider along the way. It's one of those it's counterintuitive that by dropping a rider, it would make the team faster. But there are going to be situations where a rider can take one last hard pull and then they pull the pin. They don't finish with the group that wins the race or takes their time, but they do feel like they were part of the effort. You're following my train of thought here, right? Is anyone going to be the sacrificial lamb for one of these teams to get them the second or two that they're going to need to win out here? That might be what it takes.
I think that is a great point, actually. I think that there definitely is going to be plenty of sacrifice going on from a few of the riders. And you only have to you don't have to finish with all the riders who start. So there is a reality that I think some of the tactics here that will be coming from a team like Stefanelli, they've got, from what we can see here, 1, 2, 3 at the front, 4, 7 riders in amongst them there. They can drop one or a few off here and still come across the line with the best time on the day. If you're watching out for Stefanelli here, the Italian team, and they're pushing solid here right now. They are, I know that the on course here, the 11 is up there, but they are coming through, I believe, onto their second lap here. They've finished 1 out on course, and their splits here at this point for this team. For Stefanelli, I'm looking at 8:13, a 21:30. So they're currently sitting, it looks to be about 3rd place on the day after their 14-kilometer split, actually, here in this espresso group. So good to see Stefanelli hammering away here. The team they're going to be chasing, though, is going to be Innovation. I was looking at them just a moment ago. We're seeing Tom Moses here, though, showing up, it looks like, for the Rowan King. But it looks like Rowan King out on course and no longer moving here for Moses. So interesting to see.
6:34, the time split for Rowan King, Nate, which is, Nathan, it's going to be, when you look at it, I mean, PO Auto, which for me, if someone said who would be a team to watch today, I would say, well, Dig Deep Coaching, PO Auto. Well, they're at 7:55. That Rowan King time is an outlier there. 6:34.
6:34. And where are they on
Doesn't
course
seem
here?
possible.
We'll see if we can find them out on course
Unless
here.
they have a
they're
motorcycle.
Absolutely fine. They may have a motorcycle out on course. We'll have to wait and see. But Innovation here, they're setting a pretty solid time so far with this 18:48. And I do believe that's going to be the best time on the day right now for that second split. But they were at 7:48, though, coming through the first. So we're still waiting for, as you were saying, there was a couple of others that we're waiting for to come through. I think PO Auto and Innovation actually are battling neck and neck currently out on course. But Innovation had them, it looks like, by about 7 seconds. So interesting to see. This Innovation team, maybe the new kids on the block. Well, not the new kids on the block for the new team that we saw, but definitely the new kids on the block to maybe be taking down the PO Autos, as I do believe they picked up a few extra team members that just came back. I do know that Jay Barnes, TTV, is a rider out of New Zealand that has been absent for a while and is now jumping back into the world of racing. Exercise physiology background. I think he's still studying in university. He jumps into my chat often on my personal channel, and we have little conversations about what the heck are you doing, Nathan? Is it right? Is it wrong? And have a good time with that. But I think he's most likely live streaming the effort there if you want to see some suffering over on Twitch right now, actually. So let's jump back in with a couple of our other.
I watched you on Twitch. I watched you racing on Twitch last night and getting caught behind a split and then making 800 watts for about a minute to
You want to talk about that? I mean, I don't know if we need. I don't know if we want to talk about Nathan's what happened there, but that was definitely
there was a good and a bad to it. Yeah.
There was an effort there for sure to bring back a gap that somebody had let go, and I was like, "No, this is not happening right now. This has to get shut down." So I was really happy to.
I was impressed. I was impressed, dude. Believe me, that was something else. So we don't need that now, do we, Nathan? What we really need are guys who can hang, just keep it right at, that 5 watts per kilo, something like that. We're with PO Auto right now. This Danish team, again, the Danes, Nathan, I've kind of jumped around, haven't I, with nationalities. We talked about how great the Soviets were at one time. Now Russia, they were Soviet then. The Italians, but certainly the Danes especially in the modern or the last 20 years, they've been one of the best teams in the discipline of team pursuit on the track, which is the same thing, basically. A little different, but subtle differences, but the same concept of team time trialing just on the velodrome. That's going to be Magnus Kort that you can see there. He's in the pink the EF kit. So one of our world tour riders jumping in, and you see how Magnus isn't blowing this team apart, right, Nathan? He's working with the team, bringing the best. This is a great squad. There is no doubt about it. Putting on a clinic right now, actually. The double pace. Nathan, doesn't get better than this. Poetry and motion in front of us right now. Magnus, good job, my friend.
Yeah, solid effort here coming in from Magnus and this whole squad right now with PO Auto. And this is the reason why they are the ones to beat. Absolutely hammering and education first rider here, showing up and giving a lead, I would think, to the rest of this PO Auto Danish team. So very cool to see the World Tour Pro jumping in.
Sure is.
Let's go ahead and jump on into our other feed here with the watt per kilogram. It looks like, I believe we've got them out on course. WKG Vomit, it looks like, hammering away. And I believe they are part of our Frappe, if I'm not incorrect. And they are looking solid here. They were one of the first ones out on course. It looks like 22 kilometers into their race so far. And on the splits here, if I can get a good look at them, I believe they're doing a pretty amazing job as well. I think they're currently sitting in the 3rd place overall on the splits at a 19:17. Currently being chased down, though, by BRT. Actually, they're chasing down the BRT Craft Beers as well as the Viking team there that's currently sitting, I believe, in... Go ahead.
But I was just going to say, actually, a little further back than that, because 1842 for the Alien Express team is your fastest time. 1848 Evo Vortex would be second fastest. And then you move into that 1902 for the Craft Beers team, 1907 for the Vikings there. 1917 for Vomit has them in 5th out of 6 teams checking in right now. ATP Racing. Rounding out our top 8, well, I should say our top 6 right now through checkpoint 2.
Yeah, and so it looks like solid efforts here, though, from this team. Going to move forward to Alien Express. Actually, here's the Vikings dropping, bring it all off, actually, unable to hang on. So this is going to be his team up ahead of him as the Viking team is looking to hammer away Hamann Olsen here, as you can see. Now, these are some of the later starting teams. We're going to keep working our way forward here in this Frappe group, as we're going to be looking to try and find the front end of them so that we can see their finish. 20.7K in for this Evo Vortex. This was the team that you were just mentioning out on course here. They've put in a solid 18:48 through the 14-kilometer banner. Looks like a lot of ties out on course here. And this may be the fastest time I'm seeing here. I mean, looking amongst these times at that 14K mark, I believe Evo Vortex are holding it down just behind the Innovation Alien Express, actually, it looks like, who do have that solid 18:42 from what I can tell. Does look like Vikings Fenrir, though, going just a little bit better at 18:28. We'll see if we can find those Vikings Fenrir out on course.
All right. So, Nathan, again, you say you have 5 different Zwift machines up and running, and this is a whole new level of following the racing here. It's amazing to be able to jump between all of these different categories. Again, the Vienna are the women, and that one was turning into an epic battle royale, no question. As the espresso, that would basically be your amen, the frappe, the latte, and the mocha, or other men's categories out there. Everybody racing on the same course. And Nathan, a lot of our teams are now into what you'd call the finale for their last lap here, as we're going to start getting finishing times. This is going to be wrapping up quite quickly here as we take a look. Again, Greater London Flat, 2 laps of this, and just about everybody's going to be out on their last lap right now. Here's another team that's working quite well together here. Anytime you see the speed hanging in there over 45K per hour, you are motoring. Anything over 50K per hour, and you've probably got Magnus Court on your team.
Yeah, that's for sure. Be watching out for them. And I do believe Innovation is going to be finishing up here in just a moment. I do believe that they were the first ones out on course for the Espresso. So I'm going to jump in with them for just a moment while we do find the rest of our categories here. But Innovation here currently at 6.5 watts per kilogram, hammering away. Again, apologies. There are 2 feeds that do have miles on them, but 17.1 miles. They'll be coming into their final final few K here out on course, and it does look like Jay Barnes as they head toward this right-hand turn. After they do take this right-hand turn, it'll be heading on into another flat section, a couple of sidewinders, and then one more right-hand turn onto the mile, and they'll be into the final 500 meters or so. We'll see what kind of time they can pull off. 34-36 currently is what we are seeing here from Barnes and the rest of the crew. If we do take a look here through very quickly, let's go ahead and see what the current course record is on this, and that is going to be a 36:30. They can beat this. They're going to have to ramp it up, though. ATB Racing 1 all-time record there, as you can see, 36:30. Was that set on the day? I'm just going to double-check here real quick, and it looks like that was not set on the day. This is an older record there set by ATP, actually. Will they be able to take it down? The course record, the best time on the day, so for a top 10, beating 36:42 is going to be the goal. I'm not sure they're going to make it here. It's close here for Innovation. Best time, all-time record, 36:30. They've got 1 minute or so for Innovation to take this down.
Yeah, we have seen, Nathan, over the last couple of months, more and more top riders moving over to the Zwift platform. You're seeing records dropping all over the place. I think we're going to see that here today. Certainly, these guys bearing down on the finish line now. Today's course, again, we had those checks at 6, 14, and 22K with 29 kilometers of total racing. Gentlemen, these gentlemen should be just about home.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to happen. They're going to break. You can see the finish line. I believe this is within 30 seconds. It looks like this is going to be a new course record on the day here coming in from Innovation, but they've got plenty of chasers. Up and out of the saddle, it looks like it's going to be Cervello there. Now it's up to the front. Innovation rider Jay Nicholson. And it looks like he's going to be leading those boys out right there. And it looks like it is going to happen for Innovation, taking down that course record. Moving our way back to DDC, though, there are the chasers, as you can see here, and we're going to see what they can pull off with Rafferty here. I don't believe they're going to be beating that time from Innovation on the day.
Hey, Nathan, would you do me a favor? Could we check in with the ladies, the Vienna women here, see what's going on there?
Yep, keep on
I
asking.
know it's a lot, yeah.
No, actually, that is a huge help to just give me, like, at this point, just any direction, actually, because I've got so many feeds. So, like,
folks, for those of you out there that wonder, Nathan is not only doing the commentary, he's selling the tickets out in front of the stadium. He's serving the beer behind the concession stand. He's playing in the game. He's doing the play-by-play broadcast, and he's running the TV truck. So it's pretty insane that Nathan does all of these things here. I have one small role, and
so we are
I'll try to do a good job.
Here,
so picking up the choppers.
Yep, yeah, here are the choppers. We'll see if we can bring the splits up for you guys as well. And so here we go with the splits. And it looks like for Vienna currently, the situation is, as we can see, choppers there with the 1946. And it looks like they've got 10 seconds solid on the Lunachicks, Race 3R, and ATP.
So that's interesting because, okay, so they eked out, oh boy, Take a look at that. Then the Luna Chicks and ATP are deadlocked in the silver position because our gold standard, the Choppers, have eked out about 10 seconds here. Although this one's not over. We're picking up this should be the Celtic Queens. There they are. We've got Kelly here. Great job out there today, ladies. They're surging it now. So when the horse can smell the barn, things start to change. And I think that now you get that little bit of a second win, Nathan. And these riders should be feeling that now. Here we go, galloping home at 25.1K. So they've got about 4K left. The women's record, Nathan, oh boy, I think I corrected myself earlier. I was saying 42.40. I might be a little bit off, however, but it's close to that, 42.40. Maybe it's actually 42.20, I think was the time that you found for me there. 42.20, there we are.
42.20
Yep.
is
So,
what they're going to be looking to beat.
On this course, and again, I think you're going to see that fall today, Nathan, by I think 4 teams will go under that here.
And yeah, absolutely flying a lot of these teams out here, and I think you're correct that it's going to be a tough ask to hold on to that record for sure up against the kind of talent that we're seeing out here today. This team might even take it down. We'll have to wait and see if the Irish Celtic Queens can make this happen out here today. They've got 4K or so to go at a 36. I mean, it's going to be a tough ask. We'll see if they can push on through. Yeah. But this right-hand turn, into the final. I think they've got less than. I think it's like 3K to go. So this is doable. This is definitely doable. They got to ramp it up here a little bit and start sacrificing some watts. But I think the Celtic Queens might be able to take down and at least hold that top spot as the second team across the line.
Yeah, Nathan, they should, because I think they're going at about a 115, 116 per K pace right now. So let's see if they can bring it home. There's nothing like the heart that you'll see from a racer who is motivated to break a record. And the throttle all the way open right now. They look good. They really do. Hanging together. This is what I'm talking about now. If they had one rider that wanted to sacrifice here and take a super pull, a mega pull, and end up getting dropped, that might make the difference here. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. We've got some very strong women's teams all bearing down on the finish line. Nathan, we used to call this London, England. Welcome to downtown Payne City right now. This effort is supreme from these ladies.
It is. It's absolutely awesome. And as you can see here, we're going to jump in with a couple of the other squads here real quickly. I do believe that we do have, it looks like Evo Flux now heading into their final few kilometers now, and this is going to be in that B category. Evo Flux, I believe, are a part of our. This is the one thing that this is one thing that is difficult when you're covering, because the categories do not match where they're.
It's a little unique, isn't it?
Which one that they're starting with here. But the Bs are going to be Mocha. So this is going to be our Mocha crew coming on in. So that would be usually what would be your D category. Evo Flux here, 4.5, 5.2 watts per kilogram. It looks like Humber here hammering away right now at a 41.01. And the time to beat is a 44.20. For this team right here, for Evo and the rest of the crew here from Cryogen. It looks like Andrew Beveridge there from TFC, Johansson there as well, trying to chase them down. So it looks like this crew has put in a solid time, but it looks like it's neck and neck with Cryogen, as they only started 1 minute later. It does look like Evo Flux was able to put some time into them, though, here on the day. So interesting to see. We'll see how this ends up playing out. So take a quick look at the splits, though, here for this crew. As Evo Flux continues on and presses on, and that's going to be looking at the choppers here, but let's go ahead and see if we can jump on in with the Mochas. And Evo Flux here with the 34.25. Looks like about 11 seconds better than Team TFC, who's chasing them down. Heard there with the 35.07 at the last check mark, 35.48 there for Vikings, and then it's going to be Cryogen, actually, the ones who are chasing this group down, are going to be coming in with the 36.05. Looks like they were able to make some time up, though, Cryogen. They've put in a solid effort on the back end here. They might be able to actually bring back a pretty good amount of time, because they're within a minute of Evo Flux, who's actually sitting at 34.25.
Nathan, let me get you to move back over to the espressos, if you would, please. I just heard that Innovation missed the record by 5 seconds. So close, gentlemen, so close. So this now, again, we're going to have finishers all over the shop now in different categories here. 2 laps out on the Greater London Flat Circuit, 29 total K. But again, we're hearing that one of the squads coming in hot, just missing by 5 seconds at the finish line. Nathan, someone asked me the other day who your favorite racer is, and I would have to say, when you look at it, it's these guys out here. Well, some of the mocha or latte or frappe racers, maybe not the big stars, but the riders that are putting themselves out there in this team time trial format. It is so cool to see racers getting outside of their comfort zone. And what the World Tactical Racing League has done here has really lit the fuse for a whole new exciting era for team time trialing. So picking up the Evo Flux 2 team, they're motoring, Nathan.
Absolutely motoring here as they come into the finish line. We'll be jumping in with the category. We're going to try and jump back in with the boys and girls over in the espressos as fast as we possibly can. Just so everybody knows, we are trying, just having a couple of issues with that specific feed. So as soon as we can, we'll be jumping back in with them. But we are jumping in, it looks like, with the main crew of the mochas here right now as they do finish up. We can jump in with also, it looks like we do have for the A category, that is going to be the lattes. We can jump on in with them as well. So let's go ahead and head on over to the lattes as they are making their way to the finish line. We're looking at the Count the Queens. Oh. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Count the Queens now making, and this is actually, they're finishing straight. Count the Queens up and out of the saddle here now. And solid effort coming from them as we do have to jump back really quickly. So done and dusted. Now for you guys, I know you guys want to see maybe a couple of seconds afterwards. The reason that we lost the espressos is because I didn't click back quickly, and it kicks me out of the event essentially. So I'm looking to get back into it as we're heading toward the finish line here. Look at this Vikings now as they make their way through the line. Solid efforts here coming from the Vikings for this Vienna squad, and I think this Viking Valkyrie here at 31:43. They're challenging for a top time.
They might have a stowaway.
They got quite a few here.
Yes.
Jumping in and amongst them. I think this Greaves here coming in from the CTD team as well. Well, actually, this is a mixed team. These are two teams working together, essentially, finishing together at the same time. Not much you can do about that. They're just looking for the best time they can possibly get. Leave them in here now for the ATP
You would have
team.
a UCI. If a UCI official was there, they would be losing their mind watching that. It's one of the beauties of Zwift is we get to just get after it out here. So we're going to watch another ATP finish. Boy, Nathan, I know they're coming in hot and heavy here. Great job there trying to manage all of these categories. I think that this is is it the choppers? It is the choppers. I heard, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter what I heard because what I'm seeing is beautiful. Bring it on home, ladies. This is going to be out of the United Kingdom, including some of the top triathletes on planet Earth today. And I think that's Lucy Charles Barclay, who just moved herself up to the front. All right. Okay. Look at the speed here, Nathan. They are pinning it now. They like a scalded cat coming home. A little bit of an uphill sector now. You're going to see that speed drop, but the watts actually go up as they are just about there. Less than 1K to go, Nathan, for the choppers here. One of the most respected team time trial squads that we have in the WTRL world.
I'm getting messages coming through from DDC saying that was nasty and saying it was absolutely difficult. I think DDC had a pretty solid time out there in the espressos. Let's go ahead and see how things are pulling here for these ladies. We'll take a look at the splits here real quickly before they come across the finish line. The ones that are in red have finished already. You can see the 32-33, 31-30, 43, and 31-03. Now, these aren't the results. These are just the splits. So it does look like the battle between ATP, Race 3R, and the choppers is where it was at. And for the results on the day, we're looking at espressos here. Let's see if we can bring this back to Vienna. And so far, I don't believe that these have been updated just yet. We have to wait for the live results to update. But 42.30 was the result on the day to be looked to beat. And it looks like that got smashed here so far with some crazy times. We have a 38.53. This is going to be about a 39 something. On the day here, and I think that this most likely will be the best time as they were chasing down the 3R ladies that are just ahead or just about to come across the finish line. Looks like their 1 minute gap or more has been shut down 2 race 3R, but Bates here to the front. These are some strong esports riders too, but as you can see here, the ladies here from the Choppers, just the talent on the day as Lucy Charles leads them across the line, it looks like here, with Matthews coming on through. A little bit of kick there to a little bit of infighting even. That's always fun to see as they battle it out to the finish line. Tava, we do have a couple of others finishing up here. Talavera. Go ahead.
New record. Yeah, that's shatters the existing 42:20, doesn't it, there for Vienna with that. I think they stopped the clock right around 39:40. We'll get a good look at that, but that's a course record. Boom, out go the lights.
That is
there
going to be
in
a
London.
course record on the day here. Looks like most of the categories have finished most of the riders out here today, you guys. And I believe if I can move backwards, and something we are learning here. I do have 5 Zwifts up and running. As the avatars, I'm just going to let everybody know exactly what's going on here, and we'll give a good explanation. So as the avatars leave the event, one of the things that has to do with the tools that we're using here make it so that we leave the event as well. So if I don't click back, we very quickly find ourselves outside of the current event. I do see Team TFC finishing up here, but we do have results here that we can bring up for you at least as they do get populated, everybody. But solid efforts here all around. And I'm seeing here, Innovation missed record by 5 seconds. Results are coming in. So we're looking we're hearing from WTRL letting us know. Please look at the results here, as I do believe we do have amazing times here on the day. 36. The Choppers with a 40:02 is what we are seeing. So let's go ahead and bring that up as we'll take a look at who can we watch here? TFC, as they round out a little bit of their team time. It looks like they used time trial bikes actually, which is interesting to see that some of them were out here on time trial bikes. But this is the team that actually did smash the course record for the Viennas out here today. And that is going to be the Choppers with the 40:02. ATP Racing 3 there came in with a 40:48. The Race 3R Luna Chicks came on in with a 40:55. Solid result there for them out today. Viking Valkyrie there with a 41:33. Stefanelli Black Widow with a 42:30. Those Celtic Queens holding down solid. Go ahead, Dave.
My prediction, though, Nathan, 4 teams broke the existing record there, with Stefanelli, the Italian squad, just 10 seconds out. So that was a command performance today in our women's Vienna category. I want to give Nikki Bartlett a shout out as well. She's another world-class triathlete that we have joining us weekend. She's just about every week. I've seen her out here on WTRL. So thanks for being out here, Nikki. That was an outstanding ride by the Choppers here. We got a new gold standard.
Yeah, absolutely hammering out there today. As you can see, rounding out the top 10, going down to HDR Purple Armada 2, Libby Cycling, then it's going to be Foudre Chardonnay, and then HDR Purple Armada 3. Then the Espressos, WTRL, Volendam, the new kings on the block here. I thought Pio Otto had them here when I was watching them come on through, but Volendam, 36:28. Innovation, solid effort here. And it looks like Volendam, though, were able to break the record. As I thought you did say that it was
2 seconds.
Yeah, let's just take a quick look at this. So 36:28 is now the new record, as you can see, because I do believe it was a 36:30 earlier. So new course record there being set down, by the Volendam crew, the Dutch team. Innovation there. 36:35 takes third. Pio Auto 36:37. DDC, they went out first, I believe, or one of the first crews to go out, held solid, and actually I think they're going to get a better starting order next week specifically because of that. Stefanelli Black Panther, that is from earlier today, actually from Zone 1, as you can see, so that was not a part of this specific Premier League, but that puts them in the top 10. I think it's going to most likely grab them a spot depending on the rest of the zones out there today, unless we got some big hitters showing up for some of the other zones, which is also always a possibility. We've got new teams joining up. That's the beauty of it, Dave, is with new teams joining up constantly to this 3,500 racers. You never know what's going to happen. You can't just look at what's happening here in this Premier League any longer. You have to look at throughout the rest of the day and hold on to your time. It's kind of like you get the best time, and then you have to go sit at that winner's circle at the end of a TTT or a time trial for literally the next 24 hours, though. You got to sit there and watch what's going on.
The hot seat that is going to be so what we saw in both of our elite categories, the Vienna and the Espressos, Nathan, is that there's a whole new energy out here. I absolutely love it. With what's been going on, finding your team time trial squad is harder than finding a good quarantine partner. Actually, it is a big challenge, and you got to do that 7 times to find a squad that you can work with. Obviously, the choppers have got that figured out, and we are already looking forward to next week's racing. I wonder what course we're going to be on. But the guys, I want to thank Martin and Steve, all of their hard work back at the world headquarters for WTRL. Located,
Vikings
I believe.
Fenrir here, we can see pretty solid result coming in from them, and it looks like that is a new course record as well at that 38.
There you go.
Yeah, killing it, 38:19 in that Frappes. So nice job to Vikings Fenrir. Race 3R Fleetwood Mac, 38:28, just a little ways off there. Innovation
new record
Express.
in 3. Nathan,
Vienna,
Espresso, and Frappe all have a new record here. Let's see what Latte and Mocha have got for us.
Now let's take a look here, and we'll move on forward here. And it does look like the Vikings Valhalla not able to take down the new kids on the block. So race our new kids on the block, as you can see here, these are the course records, and it looks like a little bit slower there on Lattes today, but solid efforts all around either way, as it is going to be the Vikings Valhalla, though, taking the fastest time so far in all the zones with that 41:08. BRT Chasers, ODZ is up in there as well. Team TFC Spitfire, Trifactory, Eat Dirt 2. These are all actually from 5th through 7th are from Zone 1. Interesting to see. ATP Racing 2, and then Team TFC Lightning, followed up by Cryogen Kestros from the Zone 1 for the top 10 out there. For the Mochas, let's go ahead and see what's happening here. Eat Dirt Hex on the day, and I do believe Eat Dirt Hex, that is from Zone 1, still holding down, actually. So that was not a part of the Premier League, actually. That was this morning. That is still a course record. There's actually still a course record from a 44:20. Evo Flux tried to chase it down, but 45:03 is what they got just now. And then Team TFC Hurricane, followed up by Viking Berserker, Cryogen Ospreys. We did see them out there, able to bring back some time, but unable to get into that top 5 that they were searching for. Eat Dirt Trios. Is the next one out on course there. So solid efforts there all around.
There's a lot of things to manage with the pronunciations, isn't there? I'm going to stick with you on that. Hey, I just saw that teams must register by 7 p.m. In the United Kingdom time on Wednesdays. You can do that at www.wtrl.racing.
Alex Grifford, I want to definitely give a shout out to chat and your patience with us on the WTRL Team Time Trials for sure. Now watch out for race 55 next week, guys. Make sure to register, as Dave said, before 7 p.m. UK time on Wednesdays. So make sure that you're jumping into there. But I appreciate the comments coming in. And you know what, Nathan and Dave, we both agree with you 100%. It would be nice to watch them finish rather than riders cool down. I'm with you 100%. We are pushing the platform. One of the goals of Zwift Community Live, actually, and I say kudos to Zwift on this. Big kudos to Zwift on this. From the get-go, one of the goals of doing these broadcasts and some of these test events was to see how popular and how taken by the community. What do you want? So some of the tension, and this is one of my mentors in life used to say, tension's a creative force. You know, don't see it as negative. See it as something like, what is it trying to pull out of you? Right? So the tension that we're feeling around this is that, look, there's a lot of people who want team time trials. There's a lot of people who want coverage of team time trials. There's a lot of people who are like, let's get this as a feature in the game. In the same way that we helped create events by doing events and just broadcasting them, and obviously then people were like, hey, we want events, and then event mode came. Hey, we want race mode, then race mode came. This is something as well that now we're pushing forward with, and obviously with 3,500 racers, 500 teams, largest event out on Zwift. That's a community thing going on right now, I would say. This is obviously a desire out there, and I think that we'll start seeing some more dev around all that. So Alex and the rest of you that are having patience with us, it's also you're a part of an experiment that is awesome to push the platform forward.
Very well said, Nathan. I really want to acknowledge here that basically you guys are all building a landing pad as you're in the rocket flying. It's pretty incredible what you're doing, and you're running 5 different Zwift stations. As you mentioned, Martin and Steve are managing 3,500 racers across 600 plus teams. If this were an in real life event, it would not be possible. To be honest, there is no way you could pull this off. So I really commend all of you guys for the hard work that you're doing. And yeah, everybody in this community keeping it cool. I realize things aren't always perfect or exactly what you're looking for, but you sure get a lot more flies with honey than with vinegar in this world. And so
but a little bit of vinegar,
nice comments,
a little bit of vinegar is good. A little bit of vinegar is good to say, hey, let's if we got a really super popular event that's hammering away, and we've got obviously Lucy Charles is out there saying this is her favorite event every week. And we're talking world championship caliber there, as well as
awesome to hear.
It's absolutely awesome to hear, and showing up with a full team, and then on top of that, the voice of 3,500 Zwifters going, this is amazing, throughout an entire day, totally organized, and going through a whole lot of loopholes to get that all organized. I think it's pretty awesome. So I'm excited to see if we get somewhere with this.
Yeah, no, I think you will, Nathan, and I would just add maybe. You're right about the creative forces. There's always going to be pressure and tension to move things forward. But if you start with a nice word, it makes it a lot more palatable when you have feedback, right? I think that just applies to everything we do in this world, right? We can always make change and look for positive outcomes, but being nice to each other along the way goes a long way. That's for sure. So,
I love it.
It's been everybody. Awesome.
This is great.
Yeah,
what do we got going on?
Days.
We've got a lot this weekend, Dave. We've got the biggest weekend we've had on ZCL actually in quite a while. So this weekend we've got we've got 3 pro races on Friday night. Okay, so tomorrow night, Central Time, we've got the NRS with the men and the women for the Australian NRS. And then after that, we have the Redlands. That's going to be happening. And then on Saturday morning, we have the Yana. Go on over to yana.gg. You Are Not Alone charity pro-am. That is going to be absolutely awesome. And then we've got the Redlands road race. So there's a Redlands crit on Friday night, Redlands road race on Sunday morning. Pro racing like crazy all weekend long out on Zwift. Definitely check that out. Me and Dave are going to be on the Redlands. We're going to have Matthew Keenan and Pat Shaw on the NRS Australian series, and then we're going to have me and Dave on the Yana.gg charity event. So a lot going on all weekend, you guys. Make sure to tune in for that. Watch out. The best way you can probably check that out right now would be over on our YouTube. You'll be able to see those scheduled. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for a whole lot of pro racing out on Zwift. Right on, everybody.